Everybody, it's the Dynamite Show. Paul Fontaine, Jeff Hawkins here on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. Jeff wearing a Blue Jays jersey to rub it in a little bit.
No, I got my Paul Molitor jersey in the mail today.
Oh, it looks purple, or is that just the lighting?
It's blue. It's probably the lighting.
Oh, okay. I want to thank you all for watching. We're a little bit later than usual because they did a supersized edition of Dynamite, and they're doing another one next week. Well, technically, they're doing a 2-hour Dynamite and a 1-hour Collision, but actually, we're just going to recap Dynamite, so we'll do the same thing we did last month. And then for those of you joining on Thursday, same time as usual, thank you all for supporting the network as well. And Jeff, busy thing, and I don't want to go too long here either, but we do want to talk about a couple things. And while we were waiting to get going, we got a super chat from our friend Plethora. I want to thank you very much for supporting us and the network. And he's got an interesting question, and it's timely. And the wording, I'll read it the way he read it, but I don't necessarily agree with the way he worded it. Okay. Do Paul and Jeff agree that it was right for Tony Khan to block Nakamura from Wrestle Kingdom because Tanahashi can't hang with the big boys in WWE?
Question, because I've been a bit out of the loop
sure.
at work.
Okay.
Did Tony Khan block Nakamura, or is that just
that is the prevailing thought, or it could be that New Japan didn't even ask because they knew what the answer would be.
Okay, those are two different things.
It is, but
I think it's look, politics are what they are. I think it's okay for Tony Khan to say no, you can't work with WWE on this one. I do.
Yeah.
I get it. Look, if Tanahashi wants to work Nakamura, he could sign a 1-match deal with WWE and do it over there.
He could also do it in DDT, which is what I actually think is going to happen, or Noah, who WWE works with, and Tanahashi does Noah shows all the time.
The joke here is, of course, he's getting Okada, but he's getting AEW Okada, so it's a lot like getting WWE Nakamura.
It kind of is. I mean, I would say AEW Okada is better, but
no, I just laughed at the, you're not getting New Japan Okada. You're getting AEW Okada.
And did you see the angle? That was clearly AEW Okada.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will say that, I've been following this pretty closely. I talked to people, and I'm actually going to be guesting tomorrow if anyone's interested on Speaking of Strong Style with Jeremy Finestone. So we'll talk about this obviously as well. And he has some sources, that work there, and we know people that work there that know people that work, like I've talked to a few people, and what I believe, I think he probably really did want to work against Nakamura, but not at the expense of pissing off his main North American partner. And Tanahashi is the boss there. So, I mean, he could have just done it.
Yeah.
And I think that Tony, I don't think he had anything to lose by allowing this to happen.
I don't either. Look, it could go either way with me. I'm fine if he had said yes, and I'm fine if he had said no.
Yeah. And for me, I would have liked to have seen Nakamura. I'm happy to see Okada, because 6 months ago, I didn't even think Okada was a possibility for this. And then the other one I would have liked to have seen was Omega. So any one of those three I'd have been happy with. The real one I really would have loved to seen would have been Cena, but obviously that was never going to happen. But Cena and Tanahashi would have been awesome.
That would have been fun. It really would have.
Oh yeah, yeah. And maybe we'll get it. I don't think we will, but maybe
Tanahashi's in this tournament.
That's what I was just going to say. Maybe he's the guy that doesn't work here.
No, Dolph Ziggler is going to be that. I think.
No, I think it's going to be Matt Cardona. I think he's the guy that's facing Solo Sikoa next week on Raw. That's not an inside scoop or anything, just my feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, can't hang with the big boys. I mean, that's obviously a loaded question. But
he has a sense of humor. That's plethora sense of humor. I've known him.
It is.
Yeah.
And then there was something else we wanted to discuss, but I will answer this question too, because it's been timely and a few people have brought it up. And I think I know Jeff's answer. Do you get burnt out on wrestling? Matt feels like he's losing more and more interest in the hobby. Today's good show aside.
Go ahead.
I get burnt out on wrestling all the time. I'm burnt out
Every day that ends in Y of late.
Yeah. Today
I don't
was
like
too much.
Modern wrestling. I get burned out on. I can watch classic wrestling all day.
But I'll keep watching it because I'm an addict. But like today's show was good, but it was way too much. And the more I think about that main event today, I'm gonna tear my remaining hairs out. But I mean, they nailed the finish, so that was cool.
They did. I was really loving the show up until the main event, and then I kind of, I think Brian Rose from F4W, who we know, quote tweeted something, and it was a guy who was saying that both companies have lost the purpose of War Games matches or blood and guts. And I go, yes, they have, because they've just become spectacles as opposed to ways to blow off blood feuds necessarily. They did nail the ending, so I'll give them that. But I was really loving the show up until then. I really, and I would say for me to say that
the thing that annoyed me the most on this show was Hangman and Powerhouse Hobbs had an incredible match that you forgot about by the end of the show. And that match should have been the main event of a different show, in my opinion.
Boy, they got me though. I thought when that cage came down, I thought it was just gonna blend right into blood and guts, and I was ready for it. I was like, yes, let's do this.
Yeah, Tony Khan, the sicko, lowering a cage so that his world champion can get beat up 2-on-1.
And but I was thinking, and then blood and guts starts, and so we have the Ops, and then we have Kingston.
Oh, so you thought Hangman, it was gotcha.
And we just have everybody in there. I'm like,
it's gonna be like 8-on-8. Okay,
yes,
cool. Yeah,
I was here for this.
That would have been cool. All right. And then there was one other thing we wanted to talk about before we get into the recap, was this story that won't go away. And it's Nixon Newell and what's the other lady's name? Miranda
Alizé.
Okay. Yes. And they are a couple, correct? And that is relevant. No,
it's fine. I knew that Nixon Newell used to be with the Orders formerly known as Dakota Kai at one point.
Well, the reason it's relevant is because the first match they had, which may end up being the only match, they against Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir, they spent the whole entrance and a good part of the match hugging, kissing, letting everyone know that they were a couple and distracting from the match.
Okay.
And then they were asked to come back and do a job for TJ, and they were told that it was going to be 3 minutes, and that didn't work for them, brother. So they walked, and in came Maya World and Hyan to do the job like good little jobbers, and that was that. And then the story got out, and Tegan Knox or Nixon Newell has been very vocal on social media, running to all her friends in the wrestling media and trying to explain her side. And
I don't know if she's really explained her side more than saying that there's more to the story. That's what I've seen, because she was on Twitch saying that stuff, but I haven't seen any details that really absolve her necessarily. But I have I'll just go into it. I don't like people's reactions to this. Now, I'm saying this not having seen what happened on Collision.
Okay.
So that might be a problem. If what you're saying is true, they kind of went into business for themselves on that one. But I see a lot of people screaming at Nixon Newell that like this. Like it's like you blew your opportunity, and those things come around. You should be more grateful to Tony Khan and things like that. And I'm thinking on this the first week was the opportunity. If you ask me to come back and do it again, this is where the power differential is being taken advantage of a little bit, in my opinion. If there's not potential for a deal, and I don't know if he said, can you come back in and not do a match, but just lose quickly to them? I think that had to be put on the table quickly as well before I even got on a plane to go to this taping.
Well, apparently, and the part of the story I missed was that they originally, when they were asked to do the match, they were not told it was going to be a 3-minute squash, and they weren't told that until the day of the show.
Okay. I'm going to be a little contrarian here. I don't mind that they walked out on this. I don't. Because all the people yelling, oh, you had an opportunity to be signed, et cetera, et cetera. I don't see it. If they had an opportunity to be signed, that would have been part of, we'd like to bring you back, and if you do well, we'll give you a contract. That needed to be stated. You have 20 women that aren't being used on this bloated roster that you could have beat here. You could have beat Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie. You could have beaten Serena Deeb or Emi Sakura or Nyla Rose or the Renegade Sisters. Diamante sitting there begging to be used.
Layla Gray.
Layla Gray is on this roster. You could have used any of those women, and you decided, no, I'm going to bring in these two unsigned people. Yeah. Now, if they had agreed to it, if they had agreed to lose without it being competitive, then it's on them, and you're only as good as your word. I'm going to say that right now. I'm not absolving them of it being bad behavior, but there's a little bit of Maslow's hierarchy of needs here. Nixon Newell and Miranda Alizé have been around in wrestling for, I believe, around 13 years each. The hot dog and the handshake and exposure isn't going to work for them. And when you think about it, what is their ceiling in a Tony Khan promotion? It's a Ring of Honor taping.
Yeah.
Yes. There's not a high ceiling for them given not only the fact that, they got to cut a bit of a promo, I guess, leading up to this collision.
Yeah, well, that was a weird part of this, because they cut a promo building a match with TJ, and then the next time we see them, they're losing to Megan and Marina.
They're losing to Megan, Bayne, and Marina.
You thought they were actually going to be in the tournament.
I thought that's why they were brought in here, was to replace the Bayne, and which, then you go, oh yeah, you blew your opportunity here. But
yeah,
on this, their ceiling's not that high. They're both in their 30s. To Maya World and High-End, this is an opportunity. This is when you don't walk out and say, this doesn't work for me, brother. You are in your early 20s, and you have 2 or 3 years in the business. Yes, this is the time that you have. And you know what?
Maya World, God bless her, but she's got no future. High-End, I would say, maybe has a bit of a future.
Oh, I have a friend who loves Maya World.
Yeah, I see a lot of people that love Maya World. I don't see it. She's got a lot of work to do.
And here's the other thing that people don't realize as well. As much as you all hate it, because I think a lot of this is AEW's the good company. And, if this was WWE asking them to do and they walked out, they'd be heroes. They'd be lifted on people's shoulders and paraded around for not taking any crap from the big evil corporation. But this is Tony Khan. Here's the other thing. Everybody's saying this is going to hurt them is wrong in some ways, in my opinion. I think their price just went up a little bit.
They're going to walk into GCW and
they're going to walk in
promo.
They're going to cut in they're going to cut an anti-AEW promo. People are going to boo, and people are going to pay money to watch them and boo them.
Or they're going to cheer them depending on where they go.
Yes. Yeah. But I read this. I went, okay, they walked out, but when you have an opportunity on television, these are people who have never been in show business and don't realize, and that's a little bit of part of me as well, where it's like, look, Nixon Newell's been around, and she's walking into a locker room full of peers and hearing, oh, you have to prove yourself to get a contract here, when she's given both of her knees to this business. I'd be a bit put off by that personally, especially if it's like people that can't carry your jock in the ring. Now, I'm not saying she's the greatest worker in the world, but I'm saying there are some women on this AEW roster, that she can run, that she in her prime could have run circles around, and being, know your place from male wrestlers who are saying, because you're getting 3 minutes of TV time and you should be thankful for them. They don't understand that there are things in showbiz that you do for exposure, and at some point you go, no. And also, just based on their age, there are some things in mid-career thing where you go, you know what? The opportunity is not worth the ceiling on. Like, if I were offered, if I get let go from my job, God forbid, and I have to go back to legal. I'm not taking an entry-level position at a law firm.
Right.
I'm just not. That's not an opportunity for me. That's desperation time. You know, and I've had those opportunities before, and I asked how much.
You might as well just drive Uber if that's what you're going to do.
I might as well drive Uber and stuff like that. So yeah. I kind of came at this, and I didn't understand the vitriol until I realized this is purely AEW tribalism. That's the vitriol, because any other women that did this would be, those same types of people would be yelling sexism at this type of thing at them.
Two things about this. Number one, I know somebody who was offered work with AEW in a similar role to what they were offered, and this person said no. And the reason being is that this does nothing for me. Like me going and losing to one of your talents for, probably a half decent payday, like probably more than the person would make on the indies for a match. It doesn't really help them other than, it's a way to earn a little money. It's not good exposure. And in fact, you could say it's bad exposure because you're losing to somebody that's a low card person.
Oh, even better. The kicker on this was somebody going, oh, they'll probably just end up in TNA. Oh, really? Where they can go on to an NXT show and get 4x the number of viewers that they could get on Collision. Oh, don't throw me in that briar patch. Sure.
Well, they
might bring back Tegan Knox to work a match in TNA.
You think?
In NXT. They might.
Maybe.
There was
maybe.
I mean, they didn't enjoy cutting her.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I remember.
Oh, okay. I mean, and you would know. You know people.
They wanted her to happen.
Yeah, Triple H gave her a lot of opportunities.
She was supposed to, I think, be in the finals of that one of the first Mae Young Classic.
The one Rhea went really far in, right?
Yes, because and then she blew out her knee in it, and so they had to, I believe.
And then wasn't she part of the first War Games match too?
Yes. She was part of one of the greatest turns in NXT history when Dakota Kai kicked her in the face going out to the War Games match, and then she hurt her knee again. Yeah. So. Look, they didn't cut her because they didn't like her. They cut her because she kept getting injured.
My second thing on this is that if they were told originally, okay, you're going to come in, you're going to get a real match with TJ, you'll get a chance to shine. If we like what we see, maybe we'll give you a contract. And then they come in and now they're told, oh no, you're getting 3 minutes and it's just a quick.
They're not getting a contract out of that unless they say we're giving you a contract because we're sorry about cutting your time.
And then do you want to hear the argument that I heard about this all day today? And you'll laugh at it. Well, look at Powerhouse Hobbs. He came in and did a squash to Orange Cassidy. Kyle Fletcher was losing when he first started. Takeshita was losing when he first started. Okay. Number one, the last two guys, they were brought in to be big deals. Yeah, they lost to some big stars, but they weren't losing on Collision. Number two, they took one look at Powerhouse Hobbs and said, holy shit. And they signed him like immediately. Tegan Knox, Nixon Newell, and Miranda Alizé are not Powerhouse Hobbs. They are not Konosuke Takeshita, and they are not Kyle Fletcher. They are Tony Nese.
And there's a glut, and no offense to any of these women, but there's a glut of these women who were in the shimmers in the mid-aughts to, the teens. Your Shazza McKenzie's, your Allison Kay's, your Marty Bell's. I would have put Mia Yim on this list until she got brought up to the main roster. I mean, they are.
What's that Kaden Carter's name? They just brought in Kaden Carter and gave
Lacey Lane.
Lacey Lane. They just brought her in, gave her a match like that with Mercedes. What good did it do for her? We haven't seen her since. Probably never going to see her again unless she loses on Collision to somebody.
But you had plenty of women. You had plenty of women on your roster that you could have beat them if it was really that big a deal. You just didn't want to.
Exactly. So the next bet is, hey, Maya World.
But don't give me that.
Call your friend Maya.
But this is the equivalent of, hey, we're not paying you for the acting job, but you'll have cash, copy, and reel and a credit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got a mortgage too. people. So
SAG card. Here we go.
Well, no. This is. I mean, they can't do that on a SAG card. They actually have to pay you and stuff. Unless it's a SAG experimental. This is mostly the non-union stuff when you're trying to get, credits and a reel and stuff like that. And so all these directors will go.
At least.
Oh, not non-union and not these types of gigs. If you're not getting paid for a gig, this is mostly a hyped up student film that you're getting that you're doing. And it's like, if something happens, and some of those are good for networking. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. You get the good catering on the SAG. Oh my God. I could tell you stories. Although the Taylor Swift one, best catering I ever had. And that was
I got paid well and got good catering for the one movie I did. So
yeah.
Yeah, and I made $150 for the day, and I didn't even have.
But you're basically But again, this is for the right to have a deal to sit next to Diamante and watch Dynamite tapings. I mean, that's all this is really. And
if you're lucky, more likely than not, it's don't call us, we'll call you.
Exactly. If he ghosted her after this, how big of an opportunity was it? Plus, you've lost a little bit of leverage.
Yeah.
In your indie bookings, even though, look, I get that she was complaining, but who doesn't complain from time to time if they're not working?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's difficult either. I am not totally absolving her of anything. I just listened to this and I went, okay, great. But at the same time, if this wasn't Tony Khan and they had used the only leverage they had and walked out, everybody'd be applauding. I don't want to hear it.
More likely than not, yeah. All right, let's get into the show. It was Blood and Guts Dynamite, the annual tradition, although this year it's a little bit later than usual. What's so funny about that?
Oh, just the annual tradition. I go, yeah.
Excalibur set me in.
That's the problem, Paul. I wanted to not be an annual tradition. I wanted to be needed.
You want, yeah. Excalibur set me off real quick because Willow and Skye were out first. And I think it was him. It might have been Danielson. One of the first things they said in the match was, Willow looks so excited to be out there. And right away, it's like, you shouldn't be excited to be in one of these matches. It should be...
Unless you're crazy and violent, you should not be excited to get into a crazy and violent match. Now,
Thekla, I could see. Oh, yeah, she's excited.
Thekla, yes. Thekla should be like, I am so stoked to get into this cage and be crazy. Maybe even somebody like... maybe someone who's too dumb as a character is too dumb to
Harley,
like Harley.
Yeah,
but I don't like the opposite thing where everybody's kind of like nervous about the cage before they go in and intimidated. Sometimes, I don't mind it occasionally, but
maybe she's soaking in the atmosphere or something like that. Like as opposed to like she's excited because then it just comes off like, oh, this is like a participation award that they all get to be in this match. But
someone told Skye Blue tonight, you know what? All that pretty girl shit.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of that. Make sure you cut an artery.
So that was my next note. She was busted open within 2 minutes and just bleeding like a faucet.
She took a handful of aspirin and said,
yeah,
Leroy.
I'm not even sure. They did 2 spots where I think Willow did like a power bomb into the side of the cage at one point. And I think she put her face into the cage at another point. None of these would have been nearly enough to get this kind of blood. So clearly,
I was worried for her when I saw that. I was like, she may not survive. Thank God Aminata's not in this thing because she may actually kill somebody. But I think Skye Blue may bleed out.
God bless her, she went the distance. So good for her. I should point out most of the women were wearing white, of course, because they were most of them were going to be bleeding, and
most were wearing. Some were wearing fighting gear. Some were wearing. Hey, don't I look sexy in a hardcore match? Yeah.
Ironically enough, I think Skye Blue didn't have a ton of a lot of her gear was black, but whatever white she had was soon turned red.
Yes.
Julia Hart was out next, and
I was disappointed by Julia Hart's gear.
Yeah, it was mostly
she went back to the sexy stuff as opposed to the functional skater girl stuff, which I didn't.
They spent some time looking for something in the turnbuckle pads, and they couldn't find it. And
children, pets, and props.
I figured for sure it was probably in another thing, and they kind of gave up on that storyline. So Harley Cameron was in next, and at this point, it was 2-on-2 with the women that are going to be in the next round of this women's tag team title tournament, which at the rate it's going, I'm not sure it's going to be over by next year's All In. Like, we've done 2 matches so far. People think the finals are going to be on Full Gear. We still have 2 first-round matches, and Full Gear is next week.
Look, no, it's not. And there's still a chance, though, that Nixon Newell and Miranda Alizé may be put in this tournament.
Well, and the thing is, and then I was like, oh no, they could do a match on Collision, and they could do a match next week on Dynamite. They're just in War Games. Like,
yes,
like you can't do that. I mean, they can, but they shouldn't. Then they took a break, and I should point out, and this went on all night, men's match as well. So when there was a disadvantage, the interval was super quick, like a minute.
Yeah,
maybe.
And they also they got around this in the reading of the rules.
Yes,
I don't know if you noticed this.
Every few minutes. Yes, that was the rule.
And all of a sudden I turned into Scooby-Doo. Huh?
Yeah. So then basically every time they did a commercial break, there was no entrances, and then they would come back from the break and they do like 2 quick ones.
And remember, but I mean, I don't know if I was on with you or not, but I remember I complained about that once.
Oh, okay.
Doing entrances during the commercial break.
Right, and they didn't do that this time, so that's good.
No, that was a good thing.
Thekla was out next, and then so now at this point it's all the
best gear of the night, by the way.
Yes,
Thekla with the cutoff and the jeans, and she was coming in for the bunkhouse stampede. I was here.
She was sex and fighting, because she had the sexy stuff on underneath her fighting gear. So that was
sex
cool.
and violence right there.
There you go. So she comes out. She pulls a belt.
That's what they should call the women's match.
Yes,
I know Sam's gonna jump down my throat for that one, but I don't care.
Nah, she'd be cool
I'll
with
take
that.
the hit.
She'd be cool with that. So she pulls out a belt from her boot. I think, and she starts whipping Harley and Willow with it. And Jamie Hayter's in. She comes in.
Hold on. We have to mention, number one, pulling no punches with this belt either. She is whipping the crap out of Harley and Willow, and then she takes that bump in between the cage and the apron.
Oh God!
Where she's holding on for dear life so she doesn't slip through.
Yeah, that was
she is a monster, and I love her to death.
She's awesome. Yeah, so Jamie Hayter's in. She's got a kendo stick. She starts beating on everyone. Megan Bayne was next.
Hold on. No, you're going too quick. She has a bag of tacks with her too.
Yeah, I missed that. I was wondering where those tacks came from.
That breaks on the first hit. It just go. So the planned spot there wasn't gonna go well, and everybody had to be in pain the rest of the night. Yeah, Megan Bayne, damn it, where are my jeans with knee pads over them? Because she
at least twice, but maybe more. Excalibur, every time someone would enter, Excalibur would say, "Here comes a heavy artillery." He used that line at least twice, and because he used it with Megan. Yeah, Megan definitely is that. And then they pointed out that Megan flew in from Japan. So that's another reason this tournament's going to have a hard time, because you got freaking Megan Bayne working Stardom, going back and forth from
good for her.
Good for her, but you can't do all these.
Yeah, matches. But Paul, you have plenty of replacements if you need them. You have
you have
Nixon Newell and Miranda.
No, we gotta have Miranda, or we gotta have Megan and Marina.
Camille could dress up like Megan Bayne one week,
So the ref opens the door so that Penelope can walk in and hand Megan a chair.
This wasn't supposed to be shown on camera, I don't think. Okay, I think this was supposed to be she somehow slipped it through.
Well, the camera was right on it, and it looked like the ref was complicit. Statlander comes in next. She's got a pool cue, and she's also wearing her belt. Keep that in mind for just a little bit later. Almanada, I noticed at this point, is out there, and she's walking around in a neck brace, and then she chases Penelope Ford away. So now it's
neck
just
brace and booty shorts. You gotta love it. It's like, that's wrestling right there.
Would you believe I didn't notice the booty shorts? I'm ashamed of myself. Then where are we here? Oh yeah, so Willow and Stat were they were teasing that they were going to shake hands, but they wouldn't do it. So that's still going. Then they had another commercial break, and they came back. Harley was climbing the cage. Then she just climbed down. I'm not sure what she had.
Well, there was a spot she kicked Megan Bayne, and Megan Bayne got caught, I think, by Stat or Willow, who threw her into a power bomb.
Gotcha. Okay. So then she climbs down. She does a dive onto a bunch of people. Mercedes comes out next, and
this is the best. This is
at some point, some dudes came out with their belts, and they were standing around by a table holding her belts. She comes out, she does her dance, she's taking her time. It works for the story because she doesn't want to be in this match, and the announcers pointed out. And then eventually she gets in there, and she danced. Right. She grabbed Stat's belt and she danced with it.
Pause. Okay. Number one, I wanted her to wear some gear. I thought Mercedes, of all people, would be wearing some hardcore gear.
Oh, no. She was just in a regular Mercedes.
But spot of the night comes out, takes a sip of champagne.
Yeah.
before lowering herself to get into this brutal blood and guts match. I howled laughing at this. I was like, no, I would have almost forgiven her drinking the entire bottle and shotgunning it before going into this match. But I loved the dichotomy of I'm prim and proper, I'm the CEO, sip of champagne, and let's go and fight.
Yeah. And so she gets in, and one of the first things she does is grab Statlander's belt and dances with it. Then she left the cage, grabbed one of her belts, throws it in the ring, goes back out, grabs two more, throws them back in, goes back out, grabs more. She's going back and forth. Like, I don't know why she didn't get those dudes to help her. But eventually she gets like half a dozen belts in there, and now all the heels have belts and they're beating on them. At this point, I noticed Bayne was covered in blood. Not even sure how it happened.
Excalibur blows the spot though, where Mercedes is looking at her hands in the blood and she's freaked out by it.
Oh,
by saying she broke a nail. I was so mad at that.
Oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, the Mina Shirakawa came out next, and she's got a barbed wire baseball bat. Somewhere Statlander got busted out open, I guess from one of the belts. Marina Shafir was the last one in, and they show her full freaking artistic entrance from the back. So that takes a while. I skipped through it. She went right after Statlander, pulled her out of the cage, and she pulled out a bed of nails, and she kicked Statlander, who took the weakest bump I've ever seen into these nails. And I can't blame her, but I mean, she barely sat down. Like it was, but fans chanted holy shit, so that's fine.
They should have tagged in Nixon Newell. She would have taken that bump.
Yeah, but then I thought she might be out of it, and then like she was just back later, and no problem.
Well, the spot was baffling because right afterwards, how does Marina respond? By taking off her shoes and socks.
Yeah,
and you're like, what? Is she gonna walk on these nails to prove that she's
Marina's a little bit of a weird duck? I don't know if you've noticed that.
I've noticed a bit, but it's still
the spot later where she steps on the broken glass and then use the lodged glass in her foot to step on someone else. That was interesting.
I was like, there are tacks in there, woman. Why are you taking off the shoes? Have you not been watching what's going on?
Yeah.
All right.
So Toni Storm was last in. Now the match can end. They do the black and white entrance, and she's dressed like a janitor. She's all black. Should have been all white. Then she brings in what I thought was a rope, and even one of the announcers called it a rope, but it was a bead of pearls, I guess, or something.
String of pearls.
Oh yeah, okay. And the bucket from the table, which I guess she smashed the champagne bottle. And it was glass in there now.
Trying to do the Taipei glass or death match thing like Ian and Axel Rotten, where she has tape around her hands and then dips it in although she didn't have wax, so she didn't really want the glass there, and it was also sugar glass. But I understood the point of the spot at least.
So she broke the beads over Marina's head, and she no-sold it. Then she broke the champagne bottle. Well, she had already broken it, but she starts hitting people with the broken glass taped to her fists. They go to another break. They come back. Jamie Hayter powerbombed Skye into a table, didn't break. Then she did a splash onto it and only partially broke. Then Harley got maybe the biggest pop of the whole match when she bring out her puppet and she challenged Moné.
Pause. Because there was a lost opportunity here. I love this spot, by the way.
It was good.
Puppet with brass knuckles under it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah.
The puppet should have been bleeding.
Oh,
just felt blood on there, like the puppet had bladed. That's what I want.
Or she could have hit her with the puppet, and Mercedes goes down, and then she pulls open the thing.
She pulls it off. Yes, that would have been great too.
Then you see the brass knucks, but no, she rips the puppet off. Now she got brass knucks, and she drops Mercedes with it. So that was cool. And then Marina at some point got busted open. I'm not sure how. I guess the glass. Julie and Thekla climbed through
Just
the
say
truss.
They bladed.
Yeah. Julie and Thekla climbed through the truss to the outside. Now, first of all, everyone else is walking out of this cage, but they have to go through the truss.
Well, it's impressive still.
Number two, I'm not exactly sure why you would want to leave the cage. So you leave your opponents in 3-on-5, but that's what they did. Then Julia starts bullying a ref. Thekla speared the ref, stole his key. Then they just opened the door. It's like Mercedes tossed Jamie out. Then she tossed Harley out. Then she tossed Statlander out. And I'm like, okay, we're going to get like a 5-on-1 or maybe 5-on-2 on, Toni and Mina.
Oh, okay. Well, no. You missed something important, though, in the storytelling on this.
Okay.
Once the match beyond starts in AEW, the cage is locked.
Right.
They don't open and close the whatever. So they had to sneak out.
Except people are sneaking in and out of this cage even after the match starts. They did it in the men's match constantly.
Well, I didn't say they were consistent with their story.
Okay.
I said that was the point of this.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
don't make me. Because
we had Briscoe, Wheeler, Pac.
Yes,
their dog was outside the ring.
It was an overbooked mess, and I get that. But here, the whole thing was, you see, the cage is locked.
But here's the thing: why did they want to leave the cage? That's what I don't understand.
Because the plan was to to get at least 3 of the other people out of there, so they
I got that part of the story. Okay,
yeah.
So they were trying to get it to be 5-on-2. Okay,
yes, and then what they didn't play up also was that Thekla will attack anybody, because remember, she attacked the Booker in Stardom.
Yes,
or whatever. So that was the whole point of her spearing the referee, is that she has no respect for authority. Of course,
and they should have pointed
Excalibur
that out.
Stinks at this. So yes.
Yeah. So Thekla spears Hayter and Harley. So it looks like they're getting close to their advantage. But then Statlander reemerges out of nowhere, slammed the cage door on Megan. Mercedes tried to climb up the truss. Stat followed her. Then Stat and Mercedes went through the table with all the belts. I guess they both fell off at the same time. Then Toni starts beating on people in the ring with her shoe. She dumps some more glass into the ring. She and Mina DDT'd Marina into the glass. Then she grabs a chair, hands it to Marina, and then Marina just throws it at Toni. Toni's dead. Mina's busted open. Mina starts beating on Megan with a bat to the knee. Then she uses the bat to assist with a figure 4. I thought Megan was going to tap. I really did. And then Marina, this is where she stepped on the glass and then stepped on Mina to break it up.
That was insane. I watched that. Yeah. What the? All right.
Yeah. And then Megan Megan and Marina might be a good team.
They are. I like them.
Yeah. So then Megan starts whipping Mina with a belt while Marina's got her in the mother's milk, I think is what it's called. And then the other heels are holding Toni back so she can watch. And then she eventually couldn't take anymore, and she surrendered for her lover.
Yes.
So she wouldn't get beat on anymar. And it was I thought it was a really good
there's another fantastic spot we missed in that, which was when Stat decided she was going to use the belt against Mercedes, and Mercedes just turns around and DDT on her.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
That was smooth too. Boy, did I like this match a lot, Paul.
Yeah, I did too.
I did say, again, the hot woman hardcore division in AEW is undefeated. And I'm going to even go a little further here, Paul. It's November. This might be my match of the year.
Really?
That's how much I enjoyed it.
Really?
You guys do work rate and crap like that.
Yeah.
Shit I enjoy.
Yeah. Okay.
I enjoyed the hell out of this match.
Well, that was me with John Cena and AJ. So
the random bleeding, I didn't, because they're just bleeding, which is weird. But boy, did I enjoy this match a lot. Thekla is just a crazy woman, and I love her. Megan Bayne is just big and bad, and Harley's game. Skye Blue was game. Julia Hart was game. All these women. I needed Aminata kind of in there because as I say on these matches, it looks like a literal struggle for life and death. And that's what a lot of this was. I thought Marina Shafir was fantastic with the judo throws and stuff like that. I thought everybody in this match was superb. And the visual at the end of the bloody and battered women evilly laughing after they forced to, because the visual of Toni helpless, trying begging Mina not to surrender, and finally give it up with the three of them laughing, holding her back, and Mina doing that too. But also the juxtaposition of the five other women just, patting themselves on the back. They're laugh, they've been evil. And there's Mercedes still out like a lion on that table, not even knowing she's won the match. I adored this match. I want to take it out for a nice dinner and introduce it to my mom.
So the matches now in this tournament is Toni and Mina against Alex Windsor and Riho. And then in the same bracket, you got Megan and Marina against TJ. So we got to see Toni and Marina against Megan and Marina in the semifinals. Yeah. And now we actually want to see it.
Now they're going to go through them, and then they're eventually going to go through this
Harley
other team on the other side. Harley and no.
Oh, Jamie and Sisters of Sin.
Sisters, yes, the Skye Blue and Julia Hart who were holding them back. Yes.
Did you catch the Fight Game podcast when Garrett and John couldn't remember their name? And Garrett calls them the Sisters of Doom? Sister Sledge. John
Sledge,
says,
we are family.
Green is grass. I just died.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, they are the Sisters of Sin. And I remember it eternally because I saw that skit where they were standing around like children of the corn going, we are sisters of sin.
Oh,
we are sisters of sin.
The other spot that made me scream was when the table was uncooperative with Skye Blue.
Yes, I pointed that out in my write-up. Yeah.
God, I was like, and I think they were asking her, do you want to take a third hit off of that? And she goes, oh, hell no.
Oh, and then in the main event, I don't know what was up with these tables, but Roddy could not put someone through a table to save his life.
Wheeler Yuta. It was Wheeler Yuta.
It was Wheeler and Garcia.
Oh,
and
right.
I think even Claudio at one point. Like I don't know if he's so light the way he works.
I don't believe maybe they weren't pre-cut.
Maybe, but man, these tables wouldn't break. They, as you said, they were going in.
It's like they had a sale at Home Depot and they go, you know what? These tables are a little bit more sturdier, but you know what? They can put some oomph behind it and get these things to break.
Yeah. I will say if anybody ever goes back and looks at my spreadsheet, like I actually will give the main event a higher rating because they nailed the finish so well. But I will say, like, if I was ever going to go back and watch one again, it would be this one because this was just a lot of fun.
We may, for a holiday spectacular, have to watch like all these hardcore matches for the women and just
that'd be fun. That'd be fun. And then the heels beat on Toni after the match, and the Death Riders music played because it wasn't going to get played at the end of the main event, so they had to do it here.
Well, no, because Marina got the officially
kinda, yeah.
How dare you?
So we get back.
This is the first time in AEW I've liked Marina Shafir.
She may get her second 5-star match, which is 2 more than Kurt Angle ever had.
Yes.
So we go to break, we come back, and we're in the middle of the Don Callis family B team trying to beat up the Jurassic
NWO
Express.
Black all over it, yeah.
Except they're not terribly successful at first. Luchasaurus is making his own comeback. I noted that it was Mark Davis, Lance Archer, Rocky Romero, and Josh Alexander. So
was
Hechicero there too? Okay,
Hechicero was the guy with. Yeah, well, I thought it was Clone at first, and looked like
I'm joking.
Yeah.
But so in this scenario, Josh Alexander is he's like, who's the guy that was like the boss of the B team, but whenever Hogan was around, he was nothing.
It was like Horace Hogan or Stevie Ray. It was probably Stevie Ray.
He's Stevie Ray. Josh Alexander is Stevie Ray.
I'm here for Josh Alexander cutting a promo that says fruit booty. I'm all about it.
So he actually, cut a promo, tells these guys, don't mess with family. Okada and the Bucks come out of the trailer, and Callis says, next week, Kenny Omega returns, and we're going to send him a message that you guys have joined the Don Callis family. And Okada looks at him, smiles, and he says, decision time. And he walks away, and the Bucks look terribly conflicted. At least I think
Okada
that's the emotion they were trying to purvey.
Okada was fantastic in this. Just the big grin coming out of the trailer. It goes, decision time.
These Bucks, they're gonna just churn face, and it's so freaking lame,
and it's gonna be boring. Yeah,
and everyone's gonna be, yay, the Bucks are baby faces. So
yay, we got the Bucks and Kenny, just like we wanted 5
But
years
the brawl was actually kind of cool because Jack Perry, he made his own comeback and then he took a beating, and that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Hangman Page and Powerhouse Hobbs in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and this was wild. Hangman had his ribs taped.
Yes, that's what I was gonna go into. It was amazing I think possibly the first time in the history of this show.
Yeah,
someone was selling a beating from last week.
Yeah,
in terms of having actual stuff taped up that they didn't need taped up, because I believe all these other guys who wear the tape and stuff, that they actually need that stuff.
Yes, and with this, he was just selling a worked injury.
Yeah.
So they brawl around for a while, and then Hangman tried to dive onto Hobbs. I guess he was outside the ring, and Hobbs caught him. Then he gave him a World's Strongest Slam onto the apron. Then he gave him another one onto the announce table. Then he gave him a third one onto the steel steps, and then they cut to break. And I was like, I wanted to see some more of this beating. And, so yeah. And then, and as he was doing all this, he's screaming at Tony Schiavone, "This is your fault." That was beautiful.
That was.
Yeah. So they come back. Hobbs is still beating on him, and he gets a 2 count off an awesome power slam in the ring. They go to ringside, and did Danielson shave his beard? It looked like he did. Like, he looked clean shaven, I think. Which is maybe the biggest news on the show. I think he was clean shaven.
Is it?
Maybe. Yeah, he looked like the American Dragon. But anyways, I couldn't tell because they didn't really focus on him, but it looked like I didn't see a beard. So anyways.
I don't think he was clean shaven because they had that after the blood guts, they had the 3 people at the table thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. So then I just saw something that wasn't there. So then they're fighting on the announce desk, and Hangman gives Hobbs an awesome back body drop off the announce deck. Then he clotheslines him into the crowd. They fight into the crowd. Hangman moonsaulted off a barricade in the crowd onto Hobbs. Then Hobbs gave Hangman a spine buster through a table, often towards the concession areas. Then Hobbs carried him into the crowd, threatened a World's Strongest Slam off of a barricade, and that would have been scary as F. But then Hangman starts pounding on him, and he's teetering and tottering on this barricade. Then he climbed up into the crowd, took off his boot, and ran at Hobbs, knocked him off this barricade from about 15 feet in the air. He goes through a table of electronic stuff. It all blows up. And then he just goes and pins him. And I was like, yes, it's perfect. This match was perfect. It wasn't 5 stars, but it was freaking perfect.
I was almost afraid that Powerhouse Hobbs was going to kick out of that.
Yeah. And he didn't.
No, I really liked this. I enjoy any alum of Virginia Tech taking a beating too. That was fun for me.
Yeah.
But
he took a beating, but he still stood strong at the end. So that's cool.
Boy, and this was during this match when they were going all around. I have some great memories of the Greensboro Coliseum. I love the Greensboro Coliseum. It used to be the former site of the ACC men's and women's basketball tournaments. So I'd go there a lot with Virginia playing in there. Never went there for wrestling. I was very disappointed I did not go for was Revolution there in Charlotte?
I think it was in this building, the Sting retirement.
I think it was in this building.
They mentioned it in the show. Yeah.
Because boy, there was a part of me thinking Sting was coming down to replace Mark Briscoe in this blood.
Oh man, all the freaking in the Discord, we're all like, I convinced myself it was gonna be Swerve.
Okay, I convinced myself it was gonna be Sting to save Darby.
And other people thought Danielson, which would have been great. And instead, no.
I said Nigel last week. I thought, but
we did talk about that. Yeah.
I also thought Kyle O'Reilly was going to be the one who was going to be down. That's why they did the injury angle, and then that turned into nothing for the most part.
No, and honestly, I'm not even sure why we even bothered having Moxley get the advantage for lose the advantage for his team. I guess now they can go back and say, well, he lost that, then he lost this, but you're doing a bit of retconning with that.
Yeah, no, that's true too. But no, this match, I was pleasantly surprised by this match, how much I enjoyed it. I mean, I'd been calling for Hobbs to originally beat Hangman for the title, but no, I really like this a lot. Let's get to the aftermath. And to answer Matthew, Greensboro, no question.
Okay, there you go. Then Joe and Shibata showed up. They attacked Hangman with a chair, and then Joe asked for the cage to lower, and it does. So Brian Alvarez likes to say the character of Tony Khan is a maniac. Well, here it is. And then, but before the cage can lower, Eddie Kingston made the save. Then Hook shows up late as usual because he's probably eating chips. So Joe and Shibata bailed, and then Hangman had a mic, and he said, "Joe, if you wanted me inside of a steel cage, all you had to do was ask, you dumbass." I bonus points whenever he says dumbass.
This was Hangman's best promo.
Oh, he's a promo here. Haven't you heard?
None. Well, let's not trigger me.
Yeah. Yep, I know. This was a great promo. Yeah.
Because he started off angry. And
Joe's sell of it was even better.
Joe had like 12 emotions during this entire time because he's angry. And then as Hangman's music is playing and they're starting to, scatter and stuff like that, he's angry at himself for getting into this situation, and you can see the regret on him as he goes. I loved Shibata in this too. Yeah. I thought Shibata was perfect playing a heel. He's not a great heel, but he was perfect doing this.
He's getting into it. He's getting into it. So he says, Full Gear, leave Shibata at home, leave Will Hobbs in the hospital, and at Full Gear, Samoa Joe versus Hangman in a steel cage match. And that was that. Simple, sweet, 30 seconds, in, out, get your point across, and boom, Tony Khan books it. And we got a steel cage match. And all of a sudden, you know what? I've been saying ever since Hangman won the title that his stuff is not the most important thing on a pay-per-view. Right now, this feels like the most important thing on that pay-per-view.
Yes, he literally elevated himself with how he carried himself.
Yes.
From pre-match to post-match. I'm one of those guys who thinks he's not a great champion from time to time. Tonight he was a great champion.
You know what would have cemented him as the AEW ace for like the next 5 years? If it was him that came in and replaced Mark Briscoe in the main event.
Woo!
After doing this match.
And then you have the ops trying to break into the cage and they can't.
Yes, and then Hangman is part of putting Mox down.
Oh, but they're waiting for him after the match.
Oh, that'd be even better. Oh my God, yeah.
Kind of like they did with the Dusty turn.
Tony, come on, pay us. We're coming up with some good shit here. Yeah. Full Gear, Hangman and Joe in a steel cage match. Then we got something that I was not expecting, and maybe the reason that we went over our 30-minute overrun. And if that's the case, that's cool.
It definitely was the reason. And
that is cool. I'm fine. Yes. Ricky Steamboat has had way better nights. I'm not sure Stokely has.
He looked bad tonight too. Yeah. I mean, look, I know he's old, and I get that, but this is the first time you look at him and you go, "Wow, he is aged."
Yes, and I'm not sure Stokely has had a better night.
Stokely. Before we get into this question,
yes,
based on the social media tease, and I know the audience was thinking this too. Did you think Flair at some point that they dare to put him on screen?
It's not a social media tease. They announced on Collision that Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat were going to be there.
No, they announced they were going to be in the building.
They said they were going to be on the show.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yes, they did.
So, wait, hold on. Did Nixon Newell get a hold of Flair and say?
No, I think what happened was Tony listened to the feedback and said, "We're not putting Flair out there.
We're not putting Flair out there." That's what I was thinking too. And, he could have brought his little woo mushroom crappy energy.
Yeah, no, they don't want any part of that either. So Shivani's in the ring and he calls it the greatest pro wrestling venue in the world, and as we established in the chat, it is. And he said this would not be complete without one of the men who made it one of the greatest venues and made wrestling great on TBS. Fans start wooing, and he says, "Ricky the Dragon Steamboat." And they cheered, but I think they wanted Flair. And he said,
well, they were all yelling woo and stuff. You could hear it on the screen. I'm like, okay, here it goes. And he goes, "Ricky Steamboat." I go, huh? Okay.
So he says, in April 1978, you and Paul Jones became tag team champions. In 1983, 6,000 fans were turned away in this building.
Oh yeah, that was the Flair, Slaughter Youngblood versus
Carnoodle.
Steamboat Youngboat Slaughter Carnoodle. Yeah,
right. He says,
but you and Paul Jones. I'm just like, Paul Jones.
Yeah. Well. And then you and Dustin Rhodes became tag team champions in 1991, right here on TBS.
True.
And Ricky says, shout out to TBS. So everyone can have their moment on TV. And then he says, oh, look at that poster over there. Mount Rushmore, Greensboro. Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes, and Sting. So Ric Flair did get mentioned.
Pause. Okay. Ricky Steamboat is not the most gregarious, happy-go-lucky promo cutter in the world. He has his issues with scripts and things like that. You think he had a couple of men kind of went into business for himself a little bit? Maybe remembering the points. Okay, just checking.
I think Tony looked like Tony was whispering in his ear a couple of times. And a couple of times they took the mic away and they gave it back to him as Tony was telling him, okay, this is what you need to say. And here's your microphone.
Get your shit in. Good for him.
So he says earlier, I wrote this as he said it. So this is not me.
Okay, go ahead.
Earlier, you saw I would have to say, back in the day, my nemesis, Ric Flair, right? Woo! I want to tell you a quick story. 1977, he came to Mid-Atlantic here in the Carolinas. 16 months into the business, and Ric Flair went to Jim Crockett and said, I like this kid. I want to do something with him. So that was that. Then they get interrupted by, I thought it was the Midnight Express, but it was FTR. And they're clapping, and Stokes out there too. Steamboat says, I know them. I laughed. And Daniel said the last time he wrestled, it was
that's the moment I thought maybe he's had a couple.
Yeah. Well, no. Then he says, Frenchly mentioned. I'm not sure what he was trying to say, but a few years back, I had working with these gentlemen. I saw back then what has come to fruition today. Then Stokely just had enough. He grabs the mic and he says, Ricky, can't believe I'm standing in the ring with a legend. I know, Ricky. You know FTR, the greatest tag team alive today. But Ricky, I'm trying to introduce myself. We haven't met before. My name is Stokely, a.k.a. Big Stoke. No, I'm not Denzel Washington. I know a lot of people get us confused. Now, you are synonymous with professional wrestling. As he's talking, Ricky is like doing the hand thing and making fun of how short he is. And he says, and especially all the history you made in this building. Now, next Saturday, November 22nd, live on pay-per-view in Newark, New Jersey, FTR will make their own history when they become a 3-time AEW World Tag Team Champions. Now, it would be an honor and a privilege for you to be there front row live. Or no, it would be an honor and a privilege for us to have a living legend there live. Do you have the Macho Man's phone number? I haven't seen him on TikTok in a while.
I knew this was coming, and I still loved every moment of it.
I had no idea it was coming, and I laughed.
I loved. I'm not Denzel.
Yeah.
I think this is also how Steamboat also went a little bit into business for himself. While Stokely's talking, he's comparing heights.
I mentioned.
Yeah, I know, but all. This might be Ricky Steamboat's best promo.
Yeah, he never was a very good promo. Then Cash says, okay, don't worry about Stoke. He can be a little feisty. We have respect for you. We hold you in the highest regard. They showed a still of them teaming in his retirement match. We know we are not the only living legends and modern day miracles. If anyone can make him look like even a shell of his former self, it's FTR. Then Dak says, I've learned so much from you. 13 years ago, this man was my trainer. A lot of people know that. It was such a blessing to be able to learn from you. I learned, you taught me, hang on, I got this. Now that I think about it, I don't think you ever said one intelligent thing in your entire life, but there is one thing. Excuse me. And then Ricky interrupts him. This is after Tony told him what to say. Says, one thing I did not teach you is that your attitude is gone in the toilet. And then Dak says, there is one thing you taught me. You said, kid, doesn't matter how much you make sure you save your money. Now, in 2025, if you and Ric Flair are taking your own advice, you wouldn't have to be here tonight. Ricky, who'd have thought in 2012 we'd be standing in the middle of the ring in TBS Live, and who'd have thought I'd be a bigger legend than you ever were? Then Ricky gets in his face. Dax got in his face. Ricky shoved him. Shivani is like looking scared. Crowd starts chanting Ricky. Dax says, "Get out of my ring." And Ricky just pointed at him, grabbed a mic. And he says, "Going back a few years, I'd tell both of you to kiss my ass. But sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Sometimes you got to realize I'm about to be 73. I'm not asking or begging for any kind of sorrow or forgiveness, but I'm going to be the smarter man today." So he starts to walk out of the ring. Cass grabbed him.
I got some breaking news here, by the way.
What's that?
According to Dave Meltzer, Ric Flair was in attendance for AEW Blood and Guts, but did a brief appearance for the live crowd and then left due to him being in quote unquote a ton of pain due to a recent rotator cuff tear. AEW had to change the show around as Flair was originally booked to do something, which is assumed to be the Steamboat FTR segment.
Interesting. So this could have been longer.
Dodge the bullet.
Yeah. All right. So he says, so they're going to give him a spike pile driver, and Brodito made the save. Bandito gave him a 21 plex. Brody closed him out of the ring. And then Ricky's laying out Dax with chops. Brody's about to slam him, but Stokely pulled him out of the ring. And with how strong Brodito looked here, it pretty much cemented it in my mind that they are losing those tag team titles next week.
And then hopefully Brody turns on him.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Although if they stayed together, I'd be cool with that too. But yeah, I would like to see Brody and Hangman do a program together. Then we got our main event, and it was men's blood and guts. Darby and Wheeler out first. Yuta immediately walked out of the cage, but Darby followed him, hit him with a missile drop kick, and very quickly he was busted open. It was like if Skye Blue was an 8, Wheeler was like 0.5. There's a little bit of blood there.
Darby, but Wheeler acted better. Yeah, I'll give him this. Wheeler Yuta is one of the most personality-less wrestlers we've ever seen.
He's getting there, dude.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
Yeah.
And this was part of it because he was supposed to be the big wussy starting because they put that over on commentary. Danielson also going, yeah, he's going to be the one in there getting his butt kicked the longest. He really enjoyed that. But when he was bleeding, he was like, he was freaked out by it. And then like the bump with the skateboard where is he crying? Loved it.
Yeah. Danielson was giddy at the fact that Wheeler's going to get his ass beat for an hour. Darby, wait a minute, where the hell are we? Oh yeah. Sorry.
We're
Orange Cassidy.
Wheeler just bled. Okay.
Orange Cassidy's out next. He sauntered out. He brought in a backpack and he had something in his back pocket. I was like, what the hell is that? And then, and I think Shivani was like, what is that? And then it's his elbow pad. And then Shivani's good call. Oh, by the way, drinking game. Take a shot every time Tony Schiavone says good call. You'll be plastered by the end of any AEW television.
I think there was a little bit of a pre-show cocktail party with the legends. Just guessing.
But legit, like he says good call a lot. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he just wants to be part of it. I thought Shivani had a pretty good night, to be honest.
He was. Like it's just something he does. That's all.
No, I know that. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Nigel. You drink every time he says, wait a second or wait a minute all the time. Yeah.
And then here's where they announced next week is going to be 3 hours of Dynamite Collision. I knew it was coming, but I hate when every time they mention it.
Starting on time?
Yeah, we're doing our show at 7:20 your time, 9:20 my time.
I'll have Collision on and I'll be watching it. So
all right. Darby pulled out change from his backpack, so that was cool. He nailed Wheeler in the balls. This is where I noticed that Darby had his skateboard. Garcia was in pretty quickly, and Danielson points out, I'm surprised they didn't send Claudio out. He's usually their workhorse. And then Wheeler grabbed OC's chain. Him and Garcia double clotheslined Orange with it. Mark Briscoe's music played, but he didn't come out. Here's where the match got stupid. So Renee was backstage. We cut to backstage. There's Kyle and Roddy. Now, why aren't these guys all together? Why are they just hanging around in different rooms waiting for this match?
All right. You've gotten to a pet peeve of mine.
I know. I know it's coming.
Don't get me wrong. The rings are too big, number one, because I like the claustrophobic aspect of NWA's War Games. But yes, the teams should be at cage side on opposite sides of the cage.
Yes.
Always.
fighting to get in.
Not little shark cages at the top getting released by people. It should be 5 over here, 5 over there, 2 entrances, 1 for the baby faces, 1 for the heels. And they should, you can be doing your plotting and strategizing over there or whatnot and rooting on your people and worried and making part of the performance. Yes, I agree. Thank you.
At the very least, if you have to do the entrances, because that's part of wrestling now, have them backstage in the same room. Like ready. Who's next?
Like Battle Bowl. When they originally did Battle Bowl, you had the heel locker room and the babyface locker room, and they're all sitting around in their folding chairs.
And because you didn't do that, Mark Briscoe got beat up. Exactly. And apparently it was the Callis family, which is funny because I think everyone probably forgot this. But you remember they did a thing backstage with Mox and Callis, where Callis was trying to get Mox to eliminate Mark Briscoe so that Kyle Fletcher wouldn't have anything left for the pay-per-view. Yes. And then it ended up being the exact backwards of that. But yeah.
I thought the baby faces were going to win this whole time, but this was the moment where I went, maybe Roddy turns.
And I saw a lot of people thinking Roddy was turning, but no, Roddy volunteers to go out there and
he was the hero of this match. He was
absolutely the hero. So then Claudio's out next. He took his time, did his whole artistic entrance. And then he gets in the ring, does a giant swing on Darby while Orange Cassidy on his back choking him. That was impressive. Somewhere in here, Roddy got busted open by a chair. Darby gets catapulted into an uppercut by Claudio. They pointed out he may have broken his nose. It looked really bad, but he seemed fine. But it's Darby, so who the hell knows? Kyle O'Reilly's out next. Death Riders were controlling everything during the picture-in-picture. Then Mox is out next. So now his team, I thought it had the advantage, but it was really 4-4, but it just seemed like they had the advantage because a bunch of wusses in the ring. Kyle gets busted open with a fork. He's bleeding worse than Skye Blue. And then he left the ring, grabbed some weapons. They said they were left over from the women's matches. So that was funny. Then they did another countdown for the baby faces, but no one came out. And it's funny because they had pointed out this match can't start until both teams have 5 people in the ring. And then they cut back to Renee. And Renee says, outside the medical offices, Briscoe is still being tended to. Apparently, the attack came from the Don Callis family. I'm sure they're going to be punished for that. She says, not likely he'll compete. So it's going to be 5-on-4 for the Death Riders. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, they just told us it can't start till it's 5-on-5, but whatever. Then Moxley and Garcia in the ring gave Darby a spike pile driver onto glass. They take another break. They come back. Pac comes out again, took his time. And then Wheeler somehow got the key for the cage and hides it. So that is, I guess, how Wheeler got out because he had the key. I'm not exactly sure how he got it, but here's where they put up a graphic on the screen. They didn't even say anything, but I thought it was Collision, but it's actually next week on Dynamite. Hangman and Katsuyori Shibata. So that's cool. He'll eliminate Shibata, and then now it's just going to be 1-on-1 at the pay-per-view. And also Kenny Omega returns. So back to the match. And all the speculation about who's going to replace Briscoe. Well, it's Briscoe. He comes out limping. Sold for almost his whole entrance. and then he might as well have not even been attacked. This was dumb. I'm sorry.
Eddie Kingston with a gasoline can.
Yeah. What?
That would have been interesting.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Anything would have been interesting. So
yeah, why did they even pull out a guy and then have him do the I want to say Elgin Baylor, but I don't think that's correct. The guy that was in the playoffs and came out limping after breaking his leg. It was so weird to me that they did it.
There was another one of these kind of matches that they did not that long ago where somebody came out late and then they were basically not even in the match. Right. And that's almost what this was. I can't say that because Briscoe was out there for a long time and he did some pretty memorable stuff, but ultimately he didn't really factor into anything. So then Wheeler goes outside and drag Briscoe out. Orange Cassidy grabbed a wrench. Roddy's beating on Claudio with a chain, and then I was like, oh no, it's Mox. I sometimes can't tell those two apart because they dress the same and they're both bald. Orange Cassidy's beating on Mox. Well, it's true. Beat on Mox with a wrench. Mox made his own comeback. Then Kyle O'Reilly's raking Garcia with a barbed wire bat. They focused on Kyle, just bleeding up a storm. He looked like he was going to die. Then Briscoe got a table, and he's beating on Wheeler. He looks up to the top of the cage, and I'm like, no, please don't do this. And the announcer's even.
I was thinking it.
Yeah.
I was thinking it. I mean, if there's somebody who's going to do it,
it'll be
probably Mark Briscoe. But
yeah,
before we go on to this, who gives a shit about Gabe Kidd?
Well, we'll get to Gabe Kidd.
He was dead. Oh, I thought they were both bald. I thought it was
no. I said Claudio and Mox.
I know. I'm listening, but I also have wait until I get that Gabe Kidd so I can bury him.
All right. So Wheeler rolled off the table, and then then Briscoe just starts beating on Danny Garcia, puts him on the table, and climbs up pretty fast, gets to the top, and then right as he's about to jump, Garcia rolled off the table. He probably saved Mark Briscoe's life. And then Kyle O'Reilly put an armbar on Garcia. And then while all this is going on, Wheeler's on the top of the cage. So now him and Briscoe are squaring off. In the ring, there's nothing happening because it's all just focused on Briscoe and Wheeler. And then Danielson at this point is like, I don't like Wheeler, but I don't want him thrown off the cage. And then Briscoe finds this like hook attached to a rope, sent it down to Kyle O'Reilly. He hooked up some chairs to it. And Mark brings these chairs up. They almost didn't make it. The chairs weren't cooperating.
I watched this. I go, that's clever the way they did. And then as soon as he hit that edge, I went, oh shit, he's gonna hurt himself. Trying to get these stupid chairs over that ledge.
But Mark Briscoe is actually one of the smartest people in professional wrestling, like legit by IQ, and he figured out a way to do it. So he gets it.
This is like a hay bale type situation thing. With chairs. Yeah.
So they have so while he's getting the chairs on the thing, Wheeler grabs one of them. So they have a chair fight. Briscoe got the best of it. Went for a J driller, but Wheeler got out of it and low blowed him. Keep that in mind. So Briscoe is selling this low blow, almost falls off the cage, like because he's selling so bad. Then Wheeler hits him with a headshot, and we go to break. We come back from break. They're still up on the cage. Like nothing is going on in the ring. Like the match has stopped, at this point. Then Wheeler is going to give Mark a J driller, but Mark blocks it. And then Mark hits his own low blow. Then he hits the J driller onto the chairs. So that's that. He climbs down. We go back to the ring. Claudio and Darby are fighting over a hammer. Mox saved Claudio with a fork. Roddy saved Darby. Mox, I noticed here, was busted open too. Then as Briscoe gets to the bottom, he gets attacked by Pac, who somehow got out of the cage. Darby is out now. He attacked Pac. And then from out of nowhere, this is where your friend Gabe Kidd shows up. And I thought he was dead, but nope.
Same here.
They don't even bring it up.
He's the mercenary.
Yeah, he's the mercenary. Nothing about being dragged away on attached to a truck at
literally killed in the story.
And he's just back. He should be like at least call him the dead man or something. But he choked Darby, hauled him up the stage.
Gabe Kidd would have been interesting. Maybe Jungle Boy experimented on him before he got to Luchasaurus.
There you go. Hey, we're cooking with grease now. Garcia is choking out Orange Cassidy, but he put his hands in his pants. Wait a minute, what the hell?
Oh, when he stapled the hands.
Yeah, but I don't know where. I think my notes got mixed up here. So let's just go back to what's going on with Darby.
Are you putting your hand in your pants during this?
Maybe. So they're climbing up the O at on the top of the stage. They're hanging Darby by his neck. What? They bring him up. What?
Yeah, no, we're setting up for the most ridiculous spot I think.
So Darby was starting to fight Pac off, but Pac got the better of it. Meanwhile, Gabe Kidd grabs lighter fluid and he starts dousing these two tables that are right underneath the O. And then he lit them on fire, and Pac press slams this dude off of the O from like 20 feet in the air through these flaming tables. And it might as well not happen because it didn't matter. Nobody cared. It was a great moment. And then it was like, it was never mentioned again. And you know why this happened, right?
To get Pac over? I don't know why.
No, because Mox wanted to do it in St. Louis and he wasn't allowed to.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that because of commission stuff. I will say this. Pac's reaction to this and getting cheered, he was awesome. after this, kind of gloating afterwards. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit like that. You've seen RoboCop, correct? You've read The Grapes of Wrath.
I haven't.
The original RoboCop, Peter Weller.
I haven't. I do know the bluegrass band from Saskatchewan named that, but I've never seen
what movie. RoboCop.
Yeah,
there's a bluegrass band named RoboCop from Canada.
I'm just making it up.
Wow, that would have been something. But
no, I haven't actually seen it. I'm aware of RoboCop. Peter Weller, right?
Peter Weller, yeah, and
yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, then I can't reference the scene because you have no idea. But that last scene, they're in the junkyard, and he drops a bunch of Ray Wise drops a bunch of crap on him, and they're celebrating. He's in the thing. I was just waiting for Pac to get thrown off afterwards to get his come up and stuff. But I love that moment.
Can I ask you something? If they hadn't have lit those tables on the fire, is this any less impressive? That was freaking cool. I mean,
yes.
Yeah,
no, that was.
The fire,
and you could tell some of it slid onto him too. It's like,
because they rushed at him and he was still on fire a little bit.
Yeah, but that was also the point where I went, this is excessiveness for a War Games match, because they do this in every other match where there's not any DQ or whatever. And again,
it had nothing to do with the finish.
The Hawkins rule of stipulations. The stipulation's fine for the story, guys. You don't need all that much.
The thing is, this took Pac out of it. Or not Pac, it took Darby out of it. And then, so the baby faces, this was the excuse for the baby faces to lose, but they didn't actually lose. So
Pac was awesome in this match. By the way.
Pac was great.
That running clothesline that he did on Darby.
I don't think he sold anything.
No, he was. No, he's heel Tomohiro Ishii. He's 5'5", jacked to the gills.
Yeah,
new hair. Who's this? Yeah.
So we go back to the ring. Death Riders are beating on Kyle O'Reilly. Mox is choking him out with a chain. Roddy is crawling and trying to make the save. Kyle O'Reilly flipped Moxley off. Then Claudio tried to Pillmanize Kyle O'Reilly's neck. And then Orange Cassidy appears. And as we mentioned earlier, somewhere it got screwed up in my notes, but Moxley had stapled his hands to the inside of his pants. And he shows up here and he just rips his hands out. And then he had an orange punch on Claudio. Roddy hit sick kicks on a bunch of people. Briscoe suplex Pac through a ringside table. Orange Cassidy hit an orange punch on Mox. This is where Roddy threw Garcia into a table. It wouldn't break. Did the same thing to Wheeler. It wouldn't break. Then he threw Wheeler again, and then it finally broke. Then Orange Cassidy tried to hit Moxley with an orange punch, but Claudio stopped it with a choke slam. Went to choke slam him, and then he went to hit the pop-up uppercut, but Orange Cassidy hit him with an orange punch. That was awesome. Then he hit the orange punch on Mox. Kyle O'Reilly had the ankle lock on Mox. Orange Cassidy and Roddy put Claudio through the table. And this was, again, where the table didn't break at first, and then finally did. Then Mox countered the ankle lock into a bulldog. Kyle O'Reilly transitioned that into an armbar, then goes back to the ankle lock. Then he figured forward the leg while in the ankle lock, and Moxley is frantically trying not to tap and finally just taps like a bitch onto glass, mind you. And then, And, he made Kyle look like $1 million. We'll see what they do with it. I'm going to guess nothing. But I expect we're going to get out of this match. We're going to get Pac and Darby at the pay-per-view, and probably Claudio and Mox against Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong would be my guess.
The one guy that got nothing out of this match was Daniel Garcia.
Is he still even alive?
The best thing you can say about him was that joke that Tony told on his way to the ring, where it's like, that mask's going to help him.
There was one spot where Daniel Garcia had someone, I think, in a chokehold, and he was trying to bring his eyes back in his head like Yuji Nagata does, and he wasn't doing it, and it was focused on him. He just looked like he's falling asleep. It was
enjoyable match.
Wheeler gave a lot. What?
Yeah, enjoyable match. Suffered a bit for me for excessiveness, but they nailed the landing.
The lack of the logic hurt, but again, the ending was perfect. This was exactly what needed to happen. It's the next logical step in the story. If the Death Riders are going to dump Moxley, maybe Pac is going to take over leadership of this group.
That's what I'm thinking, and I think it'd be good for him.
And maybe they dump Garcia too. Dump Garcia, bring in Gabe.
I think it's time to dump Wheeler.
Oh, and then Wheeler stays with Mox?
Yes.
Maybe they bring in Roddy.
He brought me in. Well, see, that's what I was thinking too. I thought Roddy comes in.
Yeah.
And there's a Marina connection, but no, Blood Guts does need logic. I'm sorry, you can't say that. It does. I mean, the whole
Maria. What I'll say is, it maybe doesn't need it, but it's better if it has it.
Yes, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, this crazy spots and everything. There's a lot of the fans, and at times I'm one of them, that will just gush over all the spots and think it's awesome and it's the best thing ever. But when it makes sense, it's even better.
Yeah, and when there's it's great too. So
look at everything. Look at the last segment of this match in the ring with Moxley and Kyle, and the way they beat off the rest of the Death Riders and everything. That was perfect. And you didn't need any of that other stuff leading up to it, and it would have been just as good. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you want the punishment, so you get Mox in that position where you can submit him. But what is Darby Allin getting thrown off of a light stand or wherever the hell it was into flaming tables? What does that have to do with the finish of this match? Not a goddamn thing. Pardon my French. But yeah, so that's
cool to do. That's like, and that's the other reason why I like war games the way I like it, is like 10 men in a very claustrophobic situation where they're just beating the hell out of each other. So, but I get that we can't do that anymore. So
we have a 2-hour collision on Saturday, and you know what they've announced for it?
Nothing.
Mark Davis and Mark Briscoe.
Hell yeah.
That's it. That's 2 hours. We have a women's tag team title tournament going on. I'm not sure there's any matches from that on there. And then next week on Dynamite, 3 hours. What do we got announced for that? Hangman and Shibata?
Hangman and the Bucks versus, or Hangman and
Hangman and Shibata.
Oh, Jurassic. No,
Kenny Omega returns.
Jurassic Express. Yes.
No, just Kenny returns. That's it.
Because that match is Full Gear, isn't it? Okay.
Yes. That's it. That's all we got. 3 hours.
Yeah.
I hope Hangman and Shibata have their working boots on. I imagine
we'll versus Kyle O'Reilly, I bet, or something like that. Yeah.
My guess is we're gonna get like a 6-man with the Darby.
$500,000 tag matches for 3 hours, baby.
Darby, Kyle, and Roddy against Pac, Mox, and Claudio.
Yeah.
And
that sounds about right.
Yeah. So that's that was the show. I thought it was a really good show overall. You know, the stuff that wasn't the blood and guts was excellent, and the blood and guts matches were exactly what we were expecting. So
shout out to the women's division once again.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was they were awesome, and I hope next time they just do one and it's the women. But I don't think that'll be what happens, but that's my hope.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we need two on the same show. I think that's overkill, but that's just me.
They just have to get a hot enough feud in there. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, the women, they brought it though. Like, I think with the women,
they did.
Yeah, and if they're gonna fight like this, like same as like, you know, all those women's hardcore matches you like there's no stories in most of those.
Here's what you do. You do an entire music video of highlights from those hardcore matches, and then you market that as blood and guts, and you're off.
There you go. All right. Well, that was our show. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed giving it to you. And before we leave, Jeff, get out your plugs.
This week, Shake Them Ropes. Need to check with Rob, but we should be recording it tomorrow. His thoughts on basically probably Raw. We'll talk a little bit of SmackDown because I really did enjoy that. But we're on the road to their version of Blood and Guts War Games. And I'm going to tell you something. A little bit of rumbling in the chat behind the scenes because the women in that company are competitive. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Right. But yeah.
So competitive with the AEW women or with the WWE men?
They both, but they don't want to be outshone on this
by the AEW women.
Correct.
Okay, got you. That could be good then.
That could be good.
EO better have your jumping shoes on. Yeah.
Charlotte's game because her old man was at this show. Yeah, and any news that breaks tomorrow, it'll probably drop Friday morning in your podcatchers. And yeah, you can follow me on X at CrapGame13.
All right, and me, I got a busy week coming up. Tomorrow, I'll be on this very network. I believe it's 5:30 Eastern with Jeremy Finestone. Speaking of Strong Style, we'll be talking about New Japan, the build to Tokyo Dome, and everything that happened over the past week. Jeremy's on top of it. I'll just give my thoughts. And then I'll be back with Garrett on Monday with the Takedown, where we will talk about the big news of the week. And then Jeff and I will be back next week, Wednesday, regular time, 7:20 Pacific, 10:20 Eastern. Regular time. We will be doing our show despite the 3 hours of Dynamite and Collision. We are not recapping Collision. So for Jeff Hawkins, I've been Paul Fontaine, and this has been the Dynamite Show.